This is the book of Psalm, chapter 7, verse 15. He made a pit and digged it, and has fallen into the ditch which he made. Verse 16. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth to sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Psalms, chapter 7, verse 15 through 16, is I want to play this interview of retired Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis interviewing former Marine intelligence officer and UN inspector Scott Ritter. All right, and they're going into how Scott Bessent, the U.S. Secretary of Treasury, all right, is openly proclaiming economic D-Day on Iran, and how basically it's going to backfire. All right, because all it's doing is isolating America even more, and this is what they're going into. All right, and it's going to push more people to get away from the U.S. dollar, de-dollarization. All right, which essentially is killing the dollar. All right, and this is all by design to get everybody into digital currency for that mark of the beast RFID chip. So let me play this because it goes to show you that America's on its way out. And Scott Ritter, former Marine Scott Ritter, he breaks it down in simplest form. All right, and we've been saying this, starting with our apostle elders, that America, Babylon the Great, all right, her time is up. All right, she can't be healed. In fact, let me get that before I play this video, because this is a milk scripture, but a powerful milk scripture. Jeremiah chapter 51 verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. All right, and the Lord's being facetious. All right, because everything America is doing, all right, is resulting into its downfall, into its destruction. 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Right, and you see a lot of people that have the money, all right, fleeing America, Babylon the Great, because they see that this bitch is over. All right, this place is over. Now for us, the Israelites, spiritually, we're supposed to get our mind out of America, Babylon the Great, all right, because we know, all right, that Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus, he's going to deliver us, all right, from this captivity, and no one else. All right. So when it says forsake her, all right, means mentally, all right, forsake her, all right, because we're waiting on Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus, to deliver us from this captivity. All right, so let me play this video, and Lord willing, this lesson's edifying.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, President Donald Trump and the overwhelming might of our military have significantly dismantled Iran's military capabilities and weakened its nuclear program. Now we are entering the end game. As dawn begins on economic D-Day, the single greatest financial offensive ever marshaled against an adversary. So he says, and we're getting ready to go. I'm going to show you what some other people have said, but just off that right there, do we have a new competition for Baghdad Bob?
This is Baghdad Bob. I mean, look, if the Iranian military is destroyed, why can't we take the Strait of Hormuz? If the Iranian military was destroyed, why are we evacuating our resources from? If the Australian military was destroyed, why aren't we allowing 1,600 family members to return to Bahrain?
Yeah, real quickly, man. Bahrain, that's where the Fifth Fleet was located. That's demolished. All right. Iran put belt to ass to that location, all right, and various other military installations throughout the Gulf nations, all right, which cut America's logistics. That's the reason why the U.S. Navy, all right, Abraham Lincoln didn't have the supplies they needed, because Iran hit the logistics, all right, the supply chain, all right, to give those sailors the things they need. You know, that's how you fight wars, man. You have to hit the supply chain. And when I was in Iraq, I saw this happen time and time again. All right, so I'm very familiar with this war tactic, and Iran did it beautifully. Okay, all right. By hitting the supply chains, you hurt your enemy. All right, you weaken your enemy. All right, and this is proof that America, all right, is losing this war. Iran is winning this war. All right, because again, what Scott Ritter stated. Okay, families are not able to go back to Bahrain. Okay, um, troops are having to go more towards what's it called, Jordan and the statehood of the JJs. All right, because they have to leave the Gulf states or else they'll get crushed by the Shahed and the ballistic missiles. Yeah. So this again, all right, everything America was trying to do to take out Iran has backfired. All right, and that's why Psalm chapter 7 verse what's it called, verse 15 through 16. All right, hits so hard now than ever. All right, but let's get to the economic part. All right, this so-called economic D-Day by this, all right, idiot, Secretary of Treasury Scott Benson, and he is a fucking idiot. All right, look what he said, right here. He said, "Why would I want to blow up the global financial system?" All right, why would you even say that publicly? All right, regarding this whole economic D-Day, basically threatening nations that if they do dealings, all right, with Iran or any nations that do dealings with nations that deal with Iran, all right, you can be cut off from, all right, the American dollar system. All right, that's blowing up the economy. You know, that's blowing up the financial system. But anyway, let's play it because they go into it.
Where they've been evacuated against their will. Why aren't we rebuilding bases? Why are we retrograding out of the Middle East towards Israel and Europe, then returning forces to the Middle East? Why is it that Iran gets to dictate the pace of strategic competition right now on the military basis? So we lost this war. Scott Bessent just can't admit that we lost. This economic offensive he's talking about, first of all, understand that there is no economic offensive. Everybody understands that, right? It's all on hold. Scott Bessent got up there. This is like Dwight Eisenhower. Just imagine this, because he uses D-Day. So let's just pretend he's Dwight Eisenhower for a moment. I know it's a stretch of the imagination. But this is Dwight Eisenhower getting up on June 5th, telling the Germans, "We are coming across. I got French, I got Canadians, I got British, I got Americans. We're coming across."
Right, basically, why are you telling your enemy you're going to do all this? All right? Because it's bullshit. All right? And again, it's going to backfire, and Scott Ritter goes into it, okay? Right, and General Eisenhower was one of the lead generals, all right, to fight in World War II. Watch the movie Pressure, all right? That was all orchestrated by him and meteorologists, all right, to be able to go into D-Day, all right, where the weather was just right, all right, which caught the Germans off guard because they didn't believe that the Allies would invade Normandy when the weather was terrible. It was rainy, it was thunderstorm, but the meteorologists were able to predict, all right, and told Eisenhower, "Hey, this is the perfect time to invade D-Day." All right, the Germans wouldn't expect it. That's how they were able to catch the Germans in a surprise, because the weather was horrible for in that first week of June. All right, so yeah, weather warfare plays a major role in winning wars. Anyway, continuing on.
Sometime, but first we're going to give you a chance to surrender on your own free will. The Germans are like, "Well, thank you for warning us." But the difference is, when Bessent says he has Canadians, he doesn't have. Has anybody looked at what Mark Carney's saying about America now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Canada. All right. Hey, what did Canada say? "We will stop supplying electricity to the Northeast and Midwest U.S. residents." So this is an ally, a NATO ally threatening America. Okay? It's getting spicy. Hey, we're almost out of here. And you got to be excited for prophecy. You can't be ashamed of prophecy. You're supposed to be looking forward to getting the fuck up out of this sick, sadistic place where now they're pushing that it's okay to off your children. Okay? If you have a fucking episode, postpartum, all right, depression. This fucking bullshit, man. This place needs to go. And it's going to go. The Lord's setting this place up to be destroyed. Let's go. Salakia. I'm getting hyped.
Do you understand the state of play? So those Canadians that were on our side that went across the beach at Juno on D-Day, they ain't there anymore. Where are the Brits? They're not with us. Where are the French? They're not with us. Nobody's with us. We are truly standing alone, and we have no invading force. This is D-Day without any invading force. So we're trying to bluff our way into a German surrender, and that's just not going to happen. He says that he wants Iran standing alone. By the time this charade is complete, which will be sooner rather than later, because it'll become very apparent that nobody in the world is going to jump over to our side. We'll be standing alone. It'll be Scott Bessent standing alone, have to get up on the podium and somehow declare victory and say that D-Day.
Ooh, that reminds me of a scripture. Okay. In Obadiah. All they that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Yeah, nobody. Hey, America, all right, is alone, man. It's being isolated. And this is the will of the Lord. All right. Your allies are not going to help you fight Iran. Okay. No, they're not, man. All right. And this is the turning of the guard. Obadiah, verse 7, all the men of thy confederacy, right, all your allies will turn against you, have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. They will help to chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know about it. Yep, and it's happening, man. All right, because let's play this with this whole economic D-Day bullshit, man. All right, it really is just hot air. But if America were to do this, which they're going to explain, it's going to backfire heavily on America. All right,
is over, but we never really invaded Europe, and we didn't go to surrender.
Somebody who's really excited about Scott Bessent's move is General Jack Keane, and he does seem to have a word for some of those people who may not be over to our side just yet.
We're on a path here to bring Iran to its knees. That's what Secretary Bessent has in mind. He actually talks about it collapsing. The truth is, nobody knows. Where is Iran coming from? They believe they can outlast the United States here. They consider...
Yeah, they have allies. China finances Iran. Russia supplies Iran. Iran's not isolating itself like America is. All right, but hey, this is the shit they put on Fox News to the fucking retarded Edomites. All right, I watched this shit. This is hilarious, man. Anyway, continuing on.
Victory surviving. And if that is the only thing that you want to achieve here, they're going to go as far as they possibly can. They don't even know themselves how far they can go. We're going to find out here.
Yeah, I think we are going to find out there. In a separate interview also yesterday, he actually took the other countries to task, which Trump has been doing throughout this. You know, where are these other countries? We need to be putting more pressure on them, like with Oman, like with Saudi Arabia, or with some of the European countries. They should be joining us in this effort. But as you suggested, no takers so far.
Again, that's like Eisenhower announcing the invasion of France without securing British, Canadian, and French concurrence. You know, we're invading.
Yeah, that's another thing. You proud ass Americans don't understand that it wasn't just you that invaded Normandy. It was Canada, Britain, okay? Also, what's it called? Who was there was another country, all right? And then you had Russia, all right? Which Russia does, you know, it's crazy. You proud ass Americans. Do you know if it wasn't for Russia, all right, okay, dominating the other side, all right, you wouldn't have won that war, okay? But, you know, it's crazy. You proud ass Americans, all you think about is yourself and yourself only, all right? That's why the Lord set this up perfectly, that you're going to be alone, man, all right? Your own allies are not going to help you to fight Iran, all right? They're going to go against you, all right? And especially when you start beefing with China, when the whole bunch of European countries, all right, need China, all right, need China economy. So this is lovely. Anyway, continuing on.
Where are your divisions? You never asked us for it. You didn't coordinate with, and you called us bad names. We don't feel like coming to your side. You know, the other thing that, you know, and again, this is very serious because people need to reflect on it, because Bessent was talking about basically decoupling the world from the dollar.
There it is.
He said, you will not benefit from the dollar regime. Vladimir Putin once famously said that it's not Russia that backed away from the dollar. It's the dollar that backed away from Russia. And BRICS has long said that they're not looking for an alternative to the dollar, that they would prefer a world where the dollar was the reserve currency as long as it functioned fairly. But what Bessent is doing right now is backing the dollar away from BRICS, backing the dollar away from the world. The way that the dollar stops becoming the world reserve currency is when the United States doesn't allow it to be used as the world reserve currency. And people need to understand what the ramifications are. What is Scott Bessent saying? Do you understand what happens when we are no longer the petrodollar? When we delink the dollar's existence from a $100 trillion global energy economy? Because that's the thing that allows us to print money. The reason why we can hit print and print out $1 trillion today is that it's just a small percentage of the overall, you know, dollar pool out there because of the global economy. But when the global economy is no longer measured in terms of the dollar,
that's it. Well, the global economy is no longer measured in the U.S. dollar. This is what keeps the American dollar, all right, as the world reserve currency. Because how do you measure what has value? You need a benchmark, all right, and it's always been the U.S. dollar. But since America's been weaponizing it, China, Russia, and various other countries are now, all right, benchmarking and measuring their own dollars according to the items, the services they want to buy. All right, and this is why you're seeing America literally, okay, falling as an empire because of this, because of them weaponizing the U.S. dollar. It all started how they weaponized it against Russia. All right, when the whole war of Russia and Ukraine broke out. All right, so yeah, man, it's getting spicy. And again, let's get some the Triffin dilemma. All right, this is what kept America's world reserve currency strong and easy accessible. Okay, the Triffin dilemma, and when I say strong on an international level, not in America. The Triffin dilemma is an economic paradox stating that the country whose national currency serves as the global reserve currency faces an inevitable conflict between its domestic economic goals and international financial stability. All right, it was first identified by the economist Robert Triffin in 1960. It explains how the issuer of the world's top currency must choose between supplying enough money for global trade. Right, this is what Scott Bessent is saying they want to stop now. Anybody who does dealing with Iran, or anybody who does dealing with a nation that deals with Iran, you no longer, all right, are part of the U.S. dollar global trade supply, all right, which is essentially shooting America in the foot double time, 2 feet, all right. So let's read this again. It explains how the issuer of the world's top currency must choose between supplying enough money for global trade or maintaining the long-term value of its own currency. The need for liquidity. For the rest of the world to use a currency like the U.S. dollar for international trade and savings, the currency must be widely available abroad. This is what Scott Bessent is saying he wants to now threaten. That's why he said this stupid statement. This fucking idiot. Why would I want to blow up the global financial system? What are you saying with this economic D-Day? All right? You're saying you're going to blow up the financial system, okay? By not allowing easy access to the U.S. dollar. Unless they, all right, capitulate and not deal with Iran. And that's bullshit. China needs Iran, all right? They need Iran's oil, all right? They are totally, and they're financing Iran. So there's no getting around it, all right? And again, everybody sees that Iran's winning this war. So they're going to basically give you the bird. They're going to give you the finger, All right, but this is how America is isolating itself. All right, and again, let's read this one more time. Psalm chapter 7, verse 15. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. NLT version. They dig a deep pit to trap others, then fall into it themselves. Right. This whole economic D-Day, weaponizing the dollar, all right, is making a trap, all right, onto themselves, man. 16. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. Verse 16. The trouble they make for others backfires on them. The violence they plan falls on their own heads. Yup. And that's what's going to happen. That's why this place can't be healed, man. All right. This place, all right, is destroying itself from within, man, with all this. All right. Let's look at the leadership, man. I mean, look at Donald Trump with the meat. He basically said, fuck you, American farmers. We're going to go to Argentina and get the meat. All right. While the American farmers is on motherfucking suicide watch. They actually have a suicide hotline for the American farmers. There's an actual suicide hotline. So this is, again, with everything that this devil is doing in this administration, all right, it's backfiring against them. It's, all right, like straight up. 17, I will praise the Lord according to his righteousness, and will sing praise to the name of the Lord Most High. 17, I will thank the Lord because he is just, right? And we're praising Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We're like, all praise and glory Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You're making this devil, all right, literally fall into his own trap, man. The Lord is literally bringing this devil down, man. Okay? He's ending America right before our eyes, and the bulk of our people still can't see it, man. They're thinking about the fucking Sunday football bullshit. All right? Oh, football's coming up. That's all I fucking hear at the plantation. Yeah, man, football's coming up. I'm like, yeah? Oh, shoot. Yeah, man. Oh, man, I hope my team does well. The fuck? Do you see what's going on in the world? All right, but that's Jake. That's the bulk of Jake, man. All right, gone, man. They ain't seeing the works of the Lord, and they're not praising Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, that he's bringing down America. All right, you tell Jake that, yo, man, America's on its way out. You see what's going on with this war, with the economy, man. I hope not in my lifetime. I hope I don't see it, man. I don't want to think about that, man. All right, I got too much stake in this place. Well, hey, that's your ass, man. And that's why you're gonna take a chip and then you're gonna get nuked. All right. 17, I will thank the Lord because he is just. I will sing praise to the name of the Lord Yahweh Most High. Right, and that's why you got to know his name. All right, when you pray or when you praise, because praising and praying is all the same thing. When you pray to the Lord, all right, you pray to the Lord. You thank the Lord for all the good things he's done. You pray to the Lord, all right, to protect you. You pray to the Lord to continually look out for you. All right, and again, you pray to the Lord and just thank him. All right, and praise his name. You have to know his name. All right, when you pray, when you pray to him, when you praise to him, okay, and they go hand in hand. So the name is very important, man. All right, you see what the Lord is doing. You got to be calling on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, if you're calling on Jesus, all right, he doesn't. That name, all right, is made up. First of all, that's not his name. All right. And again, we ain't giving credit to Jesus doing this. We say ignorantly called Jesus. His name is Yahweh Shai. All right. He's knocking this out. All right. Because he's sitting in the power seat now. All right. So let's go, man. This is getting spicy. Let's keep playing.
Suddenly $1 trillion on the printing press becomes, 1,000% of, our what we can afford to do. And it changes everything. This will destroy the United States. What Scott Bessent is proposing will destroy the United States. I don't know why. Again, I'm not an economist. I'm just a simple Marine. But there are economists out there, and hopefully they'll be shouting out the top of their lungs that this is literally the destruction of the global economic model that America has imposed on the world since the end of the Second World War. This is the end of it.
Yep, this is the end of it. And this is what made America so great, was the American dollar being the world reserve currency. All right, that was what was planned out. All right, and now the Lord, all right, is bringing this whole down. Okay, it's the end. You know what? Let me get Ezekiel 7. Is it verse 7? excuse me, Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 6. And end is come, the end is come, it watcheth for thee, behold, it's come. Verse 7, the morning is come unto thee, O that dwellest in the land, the time is come, the day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains. 8, now will I shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish my anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense thee for all thy abominations, right? And America has to pay dearly, man, for all its abominations, okay? So yeah, this is the end. All right. Once this dollar, all right, is it the world reserve currency? This place is a wrap. All right. It's gonna be the purge, man. It's gonna be like the movie Purge. What's another? The Road. You ever seen the movie The Road? Okay. Hey, you should watch that movie. That's how it's gonna be.
And we will be standing alone, and you'll only be able to buy a loaf of bread if, in fact, our pathetic little nation can produce a loaf of bread if you take a wheelbarrow full of dollars to it. There are photographs from Weimar Germany back when hyperinflation struck of Germans going to the market with wheelbarrows full of money.
Yep, let's see. Let's find that, okay? Let's see if this is true. Weimar Republic wheelbarrow of cash. Yep, there it is. Yep. This is what they did. Wheelbarrows of cash. All right. This is called what? All right. Their currency had no value, and they would walk around with wheelbarrows of cash, either to burn it for a fire or to try to get something. All right. German hyperinflation, 1923. All right. This is what happened. All right. And that's what's coming to America. A German woman burning money during the hyperinflation of German currency in the 1920s. Paper money was cheaper than wood or coal. So families used it to fuel their fire. That's what's coming to America. All right. And people are going to think that, oh, no, you're fear mongering. You're a conspiracy theorist. Okay. All right. All right. We're going to see who's right. All right. We're going to see. But I've noticed there's been a lot less scoffers lately. All right. Because you clearly see something isn't right with this country. All right. You know it. All right. Deep down inside. All right. You know it. This place is okay. There's something wrong. But you want to ignore it because you want to continue living the bullshit life that you have. All right. And that's why that's a fucked up mindset. Anyway, continuing on. All right.
That's our future if we allow this kind of stupidity to stand.
And speaking of that, there was also news out this morning that one of the successes that Besant has been doing to try to destroy the currency, the rial in Iran, has reached a really high level. It's over 2 million rials for a single U.S. dollar today. So there's some impact on that. But then the question is, what impact does that have on on Iranians inside of Iran? Okay, they can't get dollars, but what does that do to their ability to survive and get along as a society?
Well, I mean, it's definitely disruptive. There can be no doubt about that. But Iran's been dealing with this for almost 50 years. This isn't the first time the Iranian currency has suffered a setback vis-a-vis the dollar. When I was there in Iran in 2005, I mean, the Iranian currency I purchased, on day one, wasn't worth as much when I left a week later. That's how, inflation did it. That was 2005. That's 21 years ago. Iran's still standing. They still have a viable economy. The Iranians will make an adjustment. And the other thing that's important to understand here is that, when the dollar...
And again, they have allies. Iran's not isolated, all right? Iran has Russia, China, and again, Ezekiel 38, all right? Gog, which is Russia, that dwells in the land of Magog, is going to be a guard, all right, to Iran. It says Persia, but that's the modern-day Iranians today. So, all right, they're not isolating themselves. So, Iran has allies, and then now with this whole war and everyone's seeing that Iran's winning this war, they're even going to get more allies, and they're going to get deals are going to be cut amongst the Arab nations, all right? And that goes into prophecy about the dragons of Arabia all right, joining with the Carmenians, which are the Iranians. So it all plays into prophecy. The Lord is making sure prophecy is fulfilled. Iran's not going down. America's going down, okay? Because she can't be healed. You know what? Let me get that scripture. All right, Jeremiah chapter 46, verse 11. Go up into Gilead and take balm, O virgin, the daughter of Egypt. In vain shalt thou use many medicines, for thou shalt not be cured. Right, everything you've done, all right, just with this war, all right, it has backfired. All right, you're not winning, you're losing. All right, gas prices are going to continue to go up. Foods, prices, services are going to continue to go up. All right, and the dollar is going to be devalued and devalued to a point people are going to burn it, like what happened in Germany in the 1920s when it was known as the Weimar Republic. All right, that's what the fuck is about to happen to this place. It's getting spicy. All right, and it's going to force people to what? Take the chip. And you take the chip, you're going to get dipped in that fire, that nuclear fire. All right, because that's the only thing America has going for them now. All right, they lost the conventional war. All right, so now they have going for them is what? The unconventional, which is what? Nuclear missiles, chemical warfare, and that's all going to make America even more hated among the world. All right, because the moment that America decides to use a tactical nuke or chemical weapons, it's a wrap, man. All right, your own allies are going to be like, nah. They're gonna turn against you, and you're seeing it. The beast shall hate the whore. Look at Canada, man. Canada's getting upset with America's bullshit, man. Turkey's tired of America's bullshit because they keep backing the JJs. So it's only a matter of time. Once America does something fucked up, like they always do, all right, whether it be chemical warfare or tactical nuke, man, all these nations are gonna be like, yo, it's time to fuck this bitch up once and for all. All right, that's why this place can't be cured. It can't be healed.
Delinks itself from global viability, which is what Bessent's proposing. Because the world will not rally around the United States. I just want every American to understand that. The world will not rally around the United States. At the end of the day, Scott Bessent started this standing alone. He will finish standing alone. Zero allies will rally to our cause. Everybody will either remain neutral or join or be standing with Iran. And when that happens, the Iranian currency suddenly gets a threat. The reason why the Iranian currency performs poorly against the dollar is because the dollar is in opposition to it across the board. Every aspect of the strength of the U.S. Treasury Department that Bessent talked about. But when the U.S. Treasury Department becomes irrelevant, then why compare the Iranian currency to the dollar? Now it needs to be compared to the basket of currency that BRICS is proposing to replace the dollar.
Or CBDC. Or stable coins from different countries, all right, and there's got to be now a benchmark or a measuring stick. How do you measure what is worth what? All right, if the U.S. dollar is no more, okay, and again, this is all leading to the market of beast, the RFID chip. All right, this is why this is all happening. All right, because that prophecy has to be fulfilled before the nukes fly. All right, it is what it is, man.
As the global reserve currency, and suddenly the Iranian currency, now backed by the strength of the Iranian economy, looks pretty good. So again, Bessent's just a fool.
Yep. And it reminds me of this Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 27. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. NLT, if you set trap for others, you will get caught in it. If you roll a boulder down on others, it will crush you instead. And that's what it is, man. This is backfiring on America big time.
Sorry about that. So the next question is, though, what next? Because if the whole purpose of this is allegedly to cause them to surrender, to give in, as President Trump said over the weekend, we're still trying to get a deal. We'll leave aside the fact that we had a deal 2 days before the war started in February. Leave aside the fact that Trump signed the deal in June. I don't know what deal he's looking for right now, but whatever. This is supposed to bring them to their knees.
The next thing is boots on the ground. Anyway, you can watch more on this, okay? Just remember how this war started. This war started in the middle of a negotiation, all right? And them JJs and America attacked Iran in the middle of negotiation. And America, all right, used Tomahawk missiles, not one Tomahawk, 2 Tomahawks to kill little Iranian girls, all right? Blew up a whole school. That's how this war started, okay? So do you honestly think Iran gives a fuck about what the hell America is going to do or propose. No. All right. They're in this, all right, for the long haul. War of attrition. All right. And they know America ain't got what it takes. And they're preparing. All right. That's why they're getting on the offensive. All right. And Russia's backing them and China's backing them. All right. All right. North Korea's all up in there too. Don't forget about North Korea. Rocket Man Kim Jong-un. He's trying to, all right, get jiggy with it. All right. And then of course you got Ukraine, which America, all right, is doing a terrible job. All right. And Russia sees it. All right. You got the CIA director, Ratcliffe, going over there to meet with Moscow. They're gonna, you know, it's all politics. It's all poker face, but they don't trust America. And this World War III is just getting started. So with that, all right, you know what? I'll end off with that because that's one of my favorite scriptures. Because we in World War III. All right, fuck what you talking about, man. We here, man. All right, and it's getting spicy. We almost out of here. That's why you gotta be praising Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right, thanking him for this truth. All right, stay locked in. All right, and keep pushing, man. Keep going, man. All right, whatever the measure the Lord gave you, use that measure and flip it. All right, so you can get delivered. All right, because you want to get saved, man. America's done. This place is over. All right, this place, all right, has a toe tag already to be wrapped around it. Okay. The fucking maybe I'll get another metaphor. The grave has already been dug. Okay. Now this country is going into that grave. It's a fact. Revelation chapter 11 verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And that's it, man. The third woe cometh quickly. That's World War III. And we in the beginning of World War III. All right? It ain't going to stop. It's only going to get worse and worse. Get ready for boots on the ground. Get ready for a draft. Get ready for famine in America. Get ready for sedition. All right? In the midst of this World War III. All right? And that's how empires always fall, man. When the citizens are divided against themselves, then the empire falls because the other nations say, yes, this is the time to take her. All right? So, with that, I want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep the door, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostle elders. We're almost out of here. It's getting spicy, man. Stay locked in. All right? We're almost out of here, man. We're just waiting for that chip. Once that chip is made mandatory, it's go time. And with that, shalom. And as the apostle elders always say, on to the next one. Shalom.